Hello and welcome. Yesterday on Telegram a video appeared that supposedly shows a Leopard 2A6 engaging two Russian tanks. We're gonna look right into this video as it's special because I don't think there has ever been a video showing a Leopard 2 engaging another MBT ever in its whole existence. So let's go right into that video. This is the channel I found it in. They are talking about a distance of more than 1.5 kilometers. At another point, I read about 2.8 kilometers, all well within the engagement range for a Leopard 2A6. And we can watch this video here. Initially, we see a Bradley here. I think at least it should be a Bradley, and that's the 2A6. The sides, the wedge armor is kind of visible, but more easy is to see that the turret is extending further than with the Leopard 2A4, which you can easily see by the exhausts here for the, or is it air intakes, I think. The air intakes for the cooling system. So this is a Leopard 2A6. It's shooting in a moment, and then we see what it's shooting at least if that video is not fake, and there's always a possibility of it being cut together to give us some impression, obviously. I checked it frame by frame. I didn't find an ATGM. I do not see an artillery grenade coming in. So there's a decent possibility that this is actually authentic. What we see now is the hit, and while it looks like a penetration, we clearly see an explosion. If we go back here, this is an explosion on the side of the tank where it's being hit. So the tank wasn't hit by a KE, but so like an APFSDS, but rather by HE or heat, so high explosive or high explosive anti-tank. Then we see from that smoke cloud the tank appears and is starting to withdraw, and a moment later a second one appears that is also joining in its withdrawal, and both of the tanks disappear. You can see the smoke coming out of the side of the hull, which indicates a T-72 or a T-90, even though the initial claims were it's T-80 BVM. I can't properly see it outside of this, so it's possible that it's T-80 BVM, but it looks to me like it's T-72. So let's go through this. Why did it use an explosive shell against a tank? The Leopard 2A6, like any other modern tank, has KE penetrators, APFSDS, armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discarding sabot, which are basically long arrows made out of heavy, dense metal, either depleted uranium or tungsten, and they are meant to penetrate through thick armor, but they are non-explosive. So they can only be used against a heavily armored target, or at least only used effectively. And on this channel, we talked a couple of times in the past that there's barely any fights between tanks. The majority of the tank's usage is in fire support, striking infantry position, ATGM positions, bunkers, etc., machine gun positions, and now and then they shoot at a lightly armored target like a BMP, BTR, or anything like this. But the actual engagement, tank versus tank, MBT fighting MBT, is so rare that it makes perfect sense for the Ukrainian side in this engagement to put a heat or a HE shell into the gun. And once they identify they are facing an MBT, it would take too long to open the breach, pull out the heat or HE shell, replacing it with an APFSDS to then engage it. So they simply engage with the first shell they have in the breach to try to take it out. It has been successful here. If you hit a tank with an HE or a heat, it's not going to be able to shoot back. The detonation right on the turret will cause massive damage to the electronics, to the optics, to the rangefinder, etc. It can damage the turret itself. This tank is a clear mission kill. It won't fight anymore anytime soon, but it obviously can be repaired. The crew might have survived completely. Some of them might have been injured or even killed. If the commander was looking out of the commander's hatch, he might have died at that attack. But generally, this should have led to the tank being driving back on its own, and after some stint at a factory, it will probably be ready to fight again. Still, though, it's a clear win for the Leopard because he managed a mission kill in this regard. But we can see that the engagement was surprising for it in this regard. The smoke, by the way, is developing because in my mind, like from what I see, it has hit the smoke launchers on the turret of the engaged T-72, which then detonate or basically blow up and create that smoke plume that is usually meant to cover a retreat. But obviously in this regard, it made us look like he's disappearing in a smoke plume. Overall, probably the first win in an engagement MBT versus MBT of a Leopard 2 ever recorded. That video is, as the source says, the beginning of the Zaporizhzhia operation, so early June, when the counteroffensive started, and it was geolocalized right south of Mala Tokmachka. This is where the Leopard 2 shoots south, so they must be somewhere here where they have been hit. By now, the front line is further south, so this is just to orient yourself. This was really probably on the first day of the battle, at least somewhere close to this, where this has happened. This was already it from me for now. If you found this interesting, I'd really like a thumbs up on this video. It helps with the algorithm. If you're new here, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. On this channel, we do videos like this not that often, but usually the situation reports about the developments along the front line in the war in Ukraine. So if you don't want to miss out, then I would like to invite you to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And if you have tank experience yourself and can add something to what I said, then feel free and feel invited to add to the to leave a comment in the comment section. That can really be enlightening as well. This channel is only possible because of the support of viewers like you. If you like to support the channel, you can do so by the means in the description. And that's already it from me for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back.